If you have been struggling to get sales from your design work or understanding what you really need to do to make money, I have the workshop for you. On September 23rd, I'm hosting my first ever Profitable Designer Workshop. This 1-day, 3-hour workshop is only $97, but I have a discount for all my podcast listeners. Go to carinagardnercourses.com/profit and put in the code podcast for $50 off. I can't wait to see you more profitable. Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life. Today, I want to talk about why you should be thinking smarter and thinking about ways that you can make money other than contracts. It is so interesting to me that, especially now at this day and age, that still the thing that surface pattern designers or people who want to become surface pattern designers do is they're searching for that contract. I have the luxury of getting to know and see a lot of designers. I do that through my Design Suite program. We have a lot of designers there. Through my design boot camp, I see budding designers, people who are getting started, also designers who are currently stuck or struggling in the business. And then some of you know that I send out all these great PDFs on my Instagram feed. And so I am in the chats talking to new designers all the time and seeing what they're up to. And here is the thing that I am finding the most, you guys, that is so concerning to me. The mindset around surface pattern design is that there is one process and one process only, and that is to get a contract. And getting a contract is a little bit like trying to get into the NBA. And I don't think that people realize that. It's just a very small percentage of people who ever get a contract. And yet, we're still in a point of time where designers think that that is the only way to go. Now, I am hoping that through this episode, you're not like, oh my gosh, so discouraged because you've been wanting to get a contract, but instead hopeful because there are so many other ways to make money that eventually will get you the contract. Mark that, you guys. Eventually will get you the contract, okay? Because so many people think that the contract's the only way to go. They actually make it so that they don't get the contract because early on they're sending their stuff to creative directors and they're not seasoned enough. Their artwork isn't good enough or seasoned enough so that they're sending subpar stuff and they don't realize it. And it's only because they haven't been doing it long enough to realize what is really, really great or what is better or what they need to have some mindset shifts around so that a creative director will want to work with them, okay? You guys, this episode, if you are listening to this episode on the podcast, I am about to give you some very important free advice, okay? Some of you have been desperately wanting to become surface pattern designers or crafting designers, okay? And you have been thinking this whole time that you just want to get a contract, okay? And so you have been building a portfolio to show some creative director out there or some agency out there so that you can get that contract, okay? And I want you to, this is going to be a little bit of a mind bend, I want you to think about how could you make money in other ways as a designer, okay? How could you make money other ways as a designer so that you are seasoned, experienced, and that the creative directors then do actually want you? Think about that for a second. Are there other things you can do as a designer that's going to make it so that a creative director wants you? There are tons of things, you guys. Tons of things that you can do. There are digital online sites where you can sell your work. Tons. And I talk about it in detail about the different I don't actually go into marketplaces. We talk in detail in Design Suite about those marketplaces, which ones are making money right now, because that's the whole inside scoop. But we talk in Design Bootcamp about that those marketplaces exist and that we need to start digital. That is a great place to go. The other thing you can do, freelance work. That way you can understand what clients are thinking. It will make you a better candidate for a creative director. For years before I started doing the online digital thing, okay, which that's where I make most of my money, you guys, from the online digital product marketplaces, not from my contracts. And people get a little confused by that. But it's because we only see the thing that's forward facing, okay? I did years of freelance work. And that's why I'm a better candidate for a creative director, and how I was able to become a creative director is because I understood that we needed to understand what businesses are looking for. If you're just illustrating, designing all the things and just putting it on Instagram, posting it, oh my gosh, the number of feeds I see like that, where it's just the image, okay? Then you're creating for yourself, which we should be creating for ourselves when we're surface pattern designers and we're crafting designers. We are our own avatars, okay? So we should be creating for ourselves. But if you don't know how to also create for a client, that actually becomes sometimes problematic, because you're never able to get outside of your own realm and see the world in a lot of different ways. That's how we get seasoned designers. Those are the designers I want to be the creative director for. Ones that I can mold and teach and be able to work with. And when they bring me an image of, for example, a llama, I can say, oh my gosh, cute llama. We don't need a llama line right now. We do maybe need a Cinco de Mayo line. Can you think outside the box? We can use this llama in that, but how do we change that, okay? Those designers know how to step it up and take it to the next level, okay? So what can you do now? If you are someone who is just getting started in design and you're just kind of figuring the whole thing out, my recommendation is for sure to come to a design boot camp. It will open your eyes to what's really possible. So many possibilities. I also just know that there is more in this design space than just contracts. I actually feel like telling people, which a lot of digital courses do, like if you take a surface pattern design course out there, they're going to tell you you can get a contract. And the truth is, it is difficult to get a contract. And only the designers who have been doing all this other stuff, they're the ones who end up with the contracts. Why? Because they're seasoned, they're better designers, they're the ones the creative directors want to work with. So what I'm telling you is, let's get in and actually start designing with an add to cart button and actually start selling your designs on the web. Let's start doing that now instead of waiting for the contract, okay? And if you want to understand more, because some of you took that information and you're like, I'm going to go put all my stuff on my own shop. If you want to know really how to do it, what the strategy is behind it, you need to come to a design boot camp and I'll tell you more about it. But here is the deal. Don't go after the contract unless you have a strategy around it. And I have designers in my design suite program. We have a full-on strategy around getting that contract, okay? And then there are others of you who need to not worry about the contract. We need to worry about how do we make money as a designer now so that we can be a proven designer, which I really want for you and is totally possible. And let's call a spade a spade. There's actually more money in it, a lot more money in it. And people do not talk about that because they're always looking for those contracts, when the truth is there is more money in the online spaces and marketplaces out there than there is in the contracts. There just is. I know, because I've been doing it for 14 years. So much more money, okay? So I would love that for you, because once you start making the money as a designer, you're not going to be like, oh my gosh, I need the contract. No, what you're going to feel is like, oh my gosh, I'm a designer. I'm a designer who makes money as a designer. And that is far more important to me, okay? Because that is a career. That is a business. That is a sustainable business. It's not what looks pretty, for sure, but it's what actually creates a sustainable business. And those are the designers that I love working with, collaborating with, seeing what they're doing, because they're being smart, strategic, and they're actually doing what they love for a living, which I know you want to do too. All right, guys, this was it was kind of a hard topic. I know I ranted a little bit because this one's a big deal to me, and changing people's mindsets about contracts, it has been the hardest thing as I have been teaching design, because I think professors as well think that if you're going to own your own design business, you need contracts. And the world has changed. There are so many ways to make money as a designer. So I want you to be able to go after it and see all the possibilities here. Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.